Now the subject to all the participants, dear friends, the subject is of such a nature. It is a non-financial reporting. See, there are two types of reporting. One is a financial and another is a non-financial. That is in corporate sector. Now this is nothing but a non-financial reporting over here. Now in this particularly, it is applicable to the government organization also, all NGO is applicable to others also. Now today's agenda pertaining to social audit is what is the need of social audit, what is the scope of social audit, principles, features, objectives, issues, challenges, limitations, advantages of the social auditing to the government department, disadvantages of social audit, who can be perform the social audit and social audit standards. So we'll try to cover most of the issues which are covered into the agenda. Now let us go one by one. The first is that is introduction. In today's world, the expectations of the government are very high and the public is more aware and informed about their rights. That we can observe today by making an application under RTI, and the people have become the more aware that what are their rights and everything. Accountability from the elected officials, that is all politicians who are elected by us, their accountability, what they are giving to the society once they are elected, whether they are performing what is governance and everything. To meet this expectation and governance, we are adopting a new strategy and tools to assess their performance and the best responsible. It is a citizens feedback mechanism and sustainability reporting approaching being used by government to evaluate their performance, and the meetings are a need for the citizens. See what happens in this case. When there is a social audit, the persons who are affected into the social audit, that is the poor people who are affected in the villages, the schemes which are declared by the government, they are affected by these schemes also. So all this government concern and the performance of those schemes which has gone to the citizens or not. So that audit will give all the mechanism and reporting to it. It is a powerful tool that the government bodies and civil society organization to promote accountability, transparency, and good governance. Mutual understanding and enhance the legitimacy of government policies and programs. Moreover, it is also going the recursion on allocation and management. It is a process of evaluating and assessing the impact of the social and economical program on the community. See, government is taking so many programs. Let us say for Manrega, they are going Atal Bhaskar Yojana, they are going Jai Mission Yojana. So there are so many yojanas which are going by the government. The benefit and the advantage of the is going to the right people or not, that is very important into the social audit. It involves the collecting and analyzing information to the stakeholders. See, stakeholders means it includes everybody, not only the government, even the people are also covered, even the society, other members are all, NGOs are also covered. The stakeholder covers everybody. To understand the social, environmental, and economic impact program. By involving stakeholders in the process, social auditing can trust and improve the communications between the government and the communities. It is an important tool for promoting transparency, accountability, and sustainability development process. Now, if you look at the historical background at the global level, so first of all, it has started by Mr. J.M. Clark, an academician from the early 20th century, and discussed the importance and transparency in business dealing. Then later on in 1930, the Professor Theodore Gibbs was the pioneer in the field of corporate social responsibility and social auditing. In the earlier system, attempt to the term social audit in 1940. In the 20th century, the social audits were conducted by non-profit or NPO in the 1950s, then in the 20th century. Harvard R. Brown proposed to term social audit in 1953, books on the social responsibility of the businessman. And in 60 and 70, the audits gained prominence as a tool of assessing the impact of government policies in the society. So what are the benefits are received by the society, by the people in a respective field, and the schemes declared by the government? So that is to be analyzed in the audit. Then in the United States, it has started in 1970. The Charles Medever was British social farmer of activities who has started the pioneering concept of social audit in 1970. In 1980, the concept of social audit was expanded beyond the principle of including the public sector. So it was in the private sector as well as public sector. The first social audit was carried out in the Sweden in 1985. In 1990, the social audit practice became more formalized and standardized. In 1990, many organizations continue to develop and practice the social audit. Now, if you look at India, the Tata Iron and Company has started the large manufacturing company based in Jamshedpur. The company implemented social audit in 1979. Then Mazdoor Kisan Shakti, they have also included the social audit. Then the concept of social audit has been recognized in India, the 73 constitutional amendment in 1992, 73 and 74 constitutional. The Supreme Court has also directed in May 2002 to establish specific lines for accountability by the government. Social accounting and audit was first used in 2003 by a social enterprise called Sambhav. The Right of Information Act has given the widened scope to go for a social audit system in India. Then Manrega has started in 2005 a mandatory the social audit. The Center of Social Initiative Management has promoted concept of social audit in 2008. And in 2014, the NRLM has started the social audit under the National Rural Livelihood Missions. Now next, a social audit plays a critical role in ensuring the sustainability matter by holding companies accounting their actions, etc. It is a collective platform. It refers to a collaborative space where various stakeholders are involved. Then discuss the concern and work towards solution. Secondly, it needs for the social audit, it curbs corruption. Because of the social audit, everything comes out. What were the expenses made? What were the money from where it has come, where it is spent, with the corruption system it is going on, it brings the more transparent. Then generates demand. Social audit can also generate demand for social services and public goods by making citizens aware of their right and entitlement. When the citizen comes to know that these are my rights, which I should get it from the government. And if they are not getting, then they can go for a legal action or everything, and it generates a demand for the public. Professionalism, then accountability and transparency, which is coming, it's a need. Then strength Gram Sabha also. Gram Sabha refers to a village level assembly, and all the Gram Sabha plays an essential role in the implementation of the social audit. The implementation of social audit strengthens the Gram Sabha by conducting the social audit of development, then monitoring and feedback. Social audit is an essential tool for monitoring. Then participate and democratic. It is a more democratic. Everybody can give their opinion. The needs of social audit, importance of participant and democratic process in social audit. Emphasizing participation all the stakeholders, especially the local community and the decision-making process. So these are all the needs. It is a collective platform. Then what is the scope? It is conducted by a range of areas, including policies and functioning of a public agency. Number two, the scope is assessed to effectiveness and impact of activity, the social activities, and identify the areas of improvement. What are the schemes which are going on? And when the social work is going further, then they can find out where the further improvement is required in the scheme, where the further improvement is required in the process. This involves examining whether the project or a project base aligned with its stated goals or objectives. That is the scope. See, for what purpose that project is based, what is the object of that project, whether that object is met or not. So that is also called in the scope of audit. It should also provide recommendations and suggestions for improvement based on the finding and the analysis. The scope of a social audit should cover all the relevant physical and virtual locations. See, when the government is taking any scheme, let us say for Manrega. Now, Manrega scheme is going on throughout the country in a different parts, in a different locations. So social audit should be conducted at all the locations, not in a particular locations. That is, all the physical, the staff will go, the social audit team will go and continue all the locations. And then they will find out that what is the defect and what is the advantage. Principle, first of all, that is very important, that integrity of the auditor. That is the first principle which is applicable for the social audit, that integrity of the auditors. He should be an ethical behavior. He should obey the strict code of conduct. He should be competent to do the audit. He should be competent to verify the information. He should be competent to understand the things in a proper way. Then he should be impartial. That means it should be fair and that should not be given that important to anybody. Totally impartial. Then fair representation. Auditor and audit manager have an obligation to present their findings truthfully and accurately. Due professionalism. Total professionalism should be there between the client and stakeholders. The next is confidentiality. That whatever the things are audited, nothing should be leakage or nothing should be given to the public or to anybody. Total confidence should be kept. No information should be gone out except in the report. Independence. The auditor should be total independence. It should not be under any pressure of anybody. The auditor should also avoid any financial interest and that could compromise the impartiality. So the auditor should not have any financial interest with the particular project or a particular scheme or anything, so he can get it totally independence. Evidence-based approach, that whatever the expenses which are incurred, whatever the documents required, any contracts are there, any agreements are there, it is going totally on the document, not on the only oral. Risk-based approach, the approach is an important principle of auditing that emphasizes for consideration of risk opportunities throughout the audit process. Features of a social audit. It takes an outside-in approach to assess the impact of the audit, stakeholders, and the society at large. The focus is on how the non-financial audit and view in the business and its impact on them. The social audit, how is impacting to the business, because it's a non-financial item. Social audit, because it can impact on the employee, and if employees are impacted, it will impact on the profitability, it will impact on the product, it will impact on everywhere. Social audit typically involves the study of a social impact parameters from outside the organization beyond audited. This includes gathering feedback, external shareholders and customers, suppliers, members, everybody. Participants. The participants is a fundamental principle of social audit, that all the participants who are taking interest, who are affected persons, they have to be taken into the consideration and they should be included into the social audit. Repetitive participations, if there are groups are affected, then there's some representation will come from them. What is their interest, how much they are affected, that is also to be taken into the consideration as a features. Accountability is very important. That is government functions. So it becomes the accountability to all the officers which are in the government and to all the relevant people who are connected with the program, who are connected with the project, their accountability comes to it. A comprehensive report, it refers to a detailed report, aspects of the organization performance. It is an essential to stakeholders with a detailed overview of the organization's social and ethical. On a regular basis, this principle emphasizes the importance of conducting regularly, rather than as a one time. See, once you are starting a social audit of a particular project or of a particular organization, Now, if you are doing every year, then you should continue for every year. Then it should not happen that for 2 or 3 years you are doing and on 1 year you are doing, it should not be. It should be regularly conducted. Then only you can control the activities. Comparative should be taken of the same type of or project and the responsibility. Verify the principle of verification that should be also considered and reviewed by the independent and qualified by the third party auditor. Multi-perspective that all the stakeholders are to be taken into consideration, including those who are open excluded or minors such as a women, children, and they are people with disabilities are excluded. But they should not be excluded. Their opinion should be also taken. What benefit they have received in the project, that will also to be taken into consideration by the auditor. Then multi-directional, that it means that the stakeholder, that is suppliers, regulators, employees, customers, how they are affected, what is their feedback, that is also to be taken into the consideration into the report. Then disclose all the pillars of audit, social, culture, administrative, legal, and democratic setting, that is also to be considered. Social audits are led by the community, that is the community members, including residents and beneficiaries are involved in conducting the audit, identifying the issues and concerns, collecting and verifying data, and presenting the finding. Object: process of evaluating organization's social and environmental impact. It can be used to raise awareness among the beneficiaries to whom the benefit is going on. With whatever the benefit they are getting, they will get the awareness that what we should get it from each project, what we should get it from each project done by the government, and they should fight away their rights for that. The objective of the estimating the opportunity cost, it can help organization to identify areas where it can be improved, such as addressing issues relating to human rights, labor practice, environmental, and community engagement. If the proper care is not taken for the labor, their medical facilities, their salaries, their remunerations, that is also to be taken and it is coming into the help. It aims to increase the effectiveness and efficiency of development program by assessing their impact. Then companies should ensure that their policies and practice do not discriminate, that all the employees have equal access to the opportunities. So there should not be any discrimination between the male and female employees. There should not be a discrimination between the disabled and able employees. So the policy should be framed by a company in such a way that benefits should go to all the employees of the company. The quality of the work of the life is an important social issue that is addressed to the social audits. What are the safety measures the company is taking? What are the health measures the company is taking for the workers and the laborers? How is the environment where the employee is working? That is equally important in case of a social audit. Then consumerism is an important social issue, that what are the product they are selling in the market, that product are safe, reliable and of a good quality or not, that is also to be taken. Then environmental impact should be taken into consideration to identify the irregular activities, that is what is mismanagement which is going on into the company or into the project or into the program. Is there a fraud, corruption, anything, that is also prevented by the social audit. Another object of the social audit to companies need to ensure the growth of their business in a responsible and sustainable manner. That is very important. Influencing policies with the grassroots realities and evidence is another important objective of the social audit. Issues: lack of a transparent process for appointing social audit unit as a that can result in the selection of an unqualified or biased individuals. See, social audit unit, the persons who are going to do the audit should be qualified. And selection of an unqualified persons will damage the trust at the cost of the social audit. One of the issues of social audit is the lack of adequate staff in the Gram Panchayat. See, there are so many Gram Panchayats, but to do the audit of all those Gram Panchayats, the staff, there is no enough staff with the government. So if you look at the statistical data of the government, so many Gram Panchayats are not audited, they are remain unaudited only because of the adequate staff. The lack of stringent penalty. If the audit is not done within a prescribed time or within a prescribed period by the Gram Panchayat or by an organization, then what is the penalty? If the penalty is levied heavily and if there is a stringent penalty, then the problem can be resolved and they will go for an audit. Lack of awareness and the knowledge among the Gram Sabha members. They have no much knowledge regarding the subject, regarding the audit, what is to be checked, what is not to be checked. That is also to be lack of awareness with the Gram Sabha members. Challenges. Auditors may face challenges in assessing relevant data and information as sensitive and confidential. See, if there are some confidential information, then it is the persons who are interested, the people who are interested, they will not part with the confidential information. The management or key people are restrained to part with the information which is confidential nature. There is a most challenge to the social auditor. Ensure objectivity and prevent bias on the social audits. It is important to have an auditor who has no financial or other interest. If he has no interest, financial or any other, then he can give the report as he likes it without coming into the picture. He can draft the report, he can disclose all the facts, all the qualification which is required into the report, which is defined in the methodology, provided he should not have any financial interest or any other kind of pressures. In some cases, rules and regulations related to social may not be followed, leading to challenges and hindrances to the social audit process. See, what are the rules framed by the government in a particular project? What are the rules which are framed by the government in a different organizations? Those rules are to be strictly followed. It is quite possible it may not be followed. That is a challenge for the social auditor. He has to be very strict that whatever the rules framed down, whatever the rules and regulations, principles, lines, methodology of project or any organization should be strictly observed. The lack of an intelligent information system can be a challenge for a social audit. In the absence of efficient system, it can be difficult to collect, manage, and analyze the large organization. Social audit findings are specific to the area and the community. They cannot be generalized to the entire population. See, when there is a social audit conducted, then there are so many areas and the community which are covered into that. Your report should not be generalized. If there are specific issues which are covered, that should be taken care of into the social audit. Each program or a project has its own unique set of challenges. That is, see, different type of program, different type of project, each has different challenges. See, let us say, for example, shortage of healthcare professionals. For instance, a program focus on improving healthcare. So there is a possibility shortage of healthcare professionals, lack of medical supplies. So because of this constraint, each program and its own unique challenges. So these challenges should be faced and it should be resolved by each program or by each project. Gathering data on migration can be challenged because from one place the people are migrated to another place. So it is very difficult to get the data that how many people have migrated, what about their remuneration, whether they are paid or where they will be paid. That is also to be taken care into the social audit. It is a big challenge. Social audit can face opposition from individuals or a group who may try to stall the obstacle process. See, it is quite possible while doing to the particularly in Gram Panchayat who are interested in that, Sarpanch and other people, or who has a vested interest into that. So they will try to obstruct the audit. They will create so many problems to the auditor. So that is a big challenge into the social audit. Capturing social and economic impact can be a difficult task. Overclaiming impact is common challenge in social audit. It is also important to capture quality of life indicators as perceived by the stakeholders. And one of the biggest challenge is the lack of qualified trainers. See, at a national level, there are so many projects are going on, so many programs are going on, so many gram panchayats are there. That social unit, audit unit, the persons who are there into the social audit, they should be qualified and like qualified trainers. It is a challenge today. Okay, they have not got the qualified people who can go and audit this all the organizations. So there's a big challenge into the social audit. Limitations. Setting up a social accounting system requires a time, and organization can require this investment because it requires a time consuming job. Significant investment is also required to find out the technology, to make the system, to go on the process, everything and online. Conducting social audit can require resources and interviewers to the auditors. These need to be trained, equipped with the skill and knowledge of the conduct of the audit effectively. Auditor has to take the interviews into the villages with a different type of people, different community. What are the benefits they are getting? What are the benefits they are not getting? Where is the weakness? Everything should be covered into the social audit. It should be a part of the organization culture, and the process should be implemented on a regular basis. It should not be for a particular period, it should be done regularly. Identifying and obtaining views and opinions of the non-stakeholders who could be a potential stakeholder into the future. Hijack of the stakeholders' views who are dominating the project. Social audit can be complex and time consuming also. The scope of social audit can sometimes be difficult to define because the complex organization or when dealing with the multiple stakeholders. See, there are different type of stakeholders where debtors are there, then public is there, gram panchayat is there, community is there, and the audit to be done of a particular project which they are involved. Then it becomes very difficult in the scope of audit to find out that what is to be done and how it is to be kept complex organization. Advantages. It helps to the local community in planning social audits. It supports the democratic function in the community because they are taking into the consideration all the people who are affected by it. It helps in enhancing the image of the organization. Once the social audit is conducted very well, it creates a good image into the society, and the brand of the organization is also valued considering the social audit. And nowadays, it is very important into the listed companies, which are covered 1,000 companies. The BRSR reporting, it is nothing but a part of social audit. If they are more conscious for BRSR reporting, that creates an image and that creates a brand and a value. Even a fundraising time, a company which needs a fund and the persons who are going to lend the money, then they are also going that what they are fulfilling the objectives of the social audit. It assists in a growth and development of a human resources, training and capacity building. It provides a company to measure evaluate their corporate social responsibility also and identify areas which they can improve. Implementing the recommendations of social auditors can demonstrate the company's commitment to the social responsibility and stakeholders. This can improve the company's reputation and build trust with the stakeholders, leading to a long-term positive relationship. When the company publishes its social audit report, that means BRSR report in case of a company, it demonstrates companies willing to open and honest about its social and environmental impact, which can lead to a greater stakeholders engagement and support. Social audit results can help companies to identify areas, prioritize social responsibility as a protecting customers' privacy, labor practice, etc. The process involves engaging with the local communities and individuals, understand their needs. People can voice their concerns and grievances about the implementation of the program and project in the area. In summary, the social audit creates awareness among the common people about their rights and entitlements. The social audit empowers citizens to participate in government and hold government officials accountable. It provides a feedback mechanism for the program, project team, and the needs of concerns of the beneficiaries and address. It helps to identify the best practice which are used in the implementation of the program and project, and how it is increasing the effectiveness of the program and project. It can create a sense of belonging among the participants as they are involved in the process. This can lead to a greater sense of ownership, responsibility towards the program or a project being audited. Because in social audit, the public is also involved. Because the benefits are going to the public, benefits are going to the different stakeholders, benefits are going to the different people, different community. So when it is going on, the project, that they feel that like their ownership also. This creates a system for grievances redressal. If it is not doing well, if there are complaints, if there are grievances by the community or by the persons who are affected by the project. Now, in case of let us say, in case of a constructing of a dam, when there is a requirement of a land, then all the persons who are lands required, they are affected. How it is solved by the government, how it is readdressed by the government, that is very important. In case of a mining project also, the land is impacted by all the people who are deciding about it. The persons who are staying nearby, they are very badly affected for that. So how their grievances, how it is solved, how those issues are considered, that is covered the advantage. In case of a government department, enhance reputation. See, we can see if the government is doing well, the people appreciate also. We have seen on the roads, roads are very defective, which are going, then people are abusing to the government. So all the stakeholders, it can enhance the reputation of the government department if the work is done in a proper and if there's a proper watch on it. Provide increased confidence in social areas. Audit provides comprehensive and transparent understanding of our organization. Social audit through the action, Gram Sabha decisions on the issues that requires action and rectification. Many issues are resolved by the Gram Sabha itself. For the certain issues which are not resolved, it is going further at the taluka level. Assist in reorienting and refocusing priorities. Social audits provides an opportunity for department to understand an expectation of the stakeholders and identify areas where there require the improvement. Disadvantage is a complex and time consuming. Because the social audit, you have to go to the particular different places. It consumes a lot of time. People are not able to explain because they are illiterate. So it's a time consuming. Second, transparent methodology. Disadvantage of social audit is that the transparent methodology, since the social audit involves a variety of the stakeholders from different backgrounds and perspective. So transparency is the biggest problem. Lack of broad scope, because nobody knows what is to be observed, what is to be checked. So there is no broad scope in the hands of the social auditor. So the scope should be a broad one. It should be taken all the aspects. It should take on consideration of all the stakeholders and the scope to be decided. Now it may be a subjective also, and the audit is that may be a subjective which can make it difficult to use the information effectively. Cost of outside resources, when the social auditors get hiring of the people, experienced and professional people, they are going from one place to other place, that all the cost is coming into the social audit. So that should be budgeted by each project at the time of each project. It should be conducted at each program. What will be the budget of the social audit? Achieving recognition, achieving by stakeholders and owner value of social audit can be a challenge which can reduce its effectiveness. Lack of standards. See, there are no standards. Now it is coming now. The lack of standards as on now. That what standards should apply for each type of activity. What standards should be taken for hunger? What standards should be taken for the poverty? What standards should be taken for the environment? That there should be some different standards. And those standards are not there. So that is the biggest challenge for the social auditor. That is number one. And this, when there is no standard, then how you can compare with the two audits of the same nature? So lack of standard is also there. Organization manipulating views is a disadvantage. That organization which are interested, they are manipulating, they are not doing the correct fact, they are not giving the correct information. And what are the information they are giving? It is overstated, it is not correct, manipulated. That is also coming into this. Now, this is very important. Who can do the social audit? Social auditor means an individual registered with the SRO under the Institute of Chartered Accountant of India, of which other agency may be specified by the government or qualified as a certification program conducted by National Institute of Security Management, a valid certificate as per the Gazette notification SEBI in 25th July 2022. In July 25th, 2020, the notification has come. A certificate should be obtained from the NSI. That is number one. Number two, the Institute of Chartered Accountants has appointed a self-regulatory organ, which is called as an SRO. So all the social auditors should be impelled with SRO. For impairment into the SRO, they must have this certificate. That is very important. Which has come on dated 25th July 22. Eligibility criteria. Any individual or entity or firm having a track record of minimum 3 years of experience in impact assessment of a social enterprise indulge in any area as notified by the government under regulation under 292E. So any individual or entity or a firm who has a track record that seen in the last 3 years, they have done the audit of a social enterprise. They have done the audit of a school, they have done the audit of so many other organizations which are connected with the social activity. Hunger, employment, so many things are there in the society. So they must have an experience of a minimum of 3 years. And if they have an experience of 3 years, they can eligible for this example and they can exam. But certificate is must. They are eligible for the appearing into the exam, and that's. And average annual grant or expenditure of a social enterprise for which impact assessment has been carried out for the last 3 financial years should be at least 50 lakhs. Any individual who has conducted the social audit of the expenditure or the grant which is of at least minimum of 50 lakhs in the last 3 years. Suitable human resources in the field of social development having experience of usage of relevant methodology of a social audit. So they are eligible for appearing into the NISM exam certificate. And once they obtain this certificate, then they should have to enroll with SRO, which is established by Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. Who cannot be a social auditor? Any individual or any of the partner or director of an entity convicted for an offense involving moral turpitude by any court of competent jurisdiction. See, anybody who is involved in the criminal activity, who is convicted by the court, an individual or a company or a director or entity, by competent jurisdiction, he is convicted in any illegal activity, then they cannot be a social auditor. the individual or any partner, director or entity has been discharged, insolvent, bankruptcy by the court of a competent jurisdiction or any other authority. Any person or a partner or a director of any company who is declared as an insolvent or a bankrupt by a court or any competent authority, he cannot be qualified as a social auditor. Any individual or any of the partner or director of any entity has been debarred by SEBI. See, Social Stock Exchange Board of India is debarred for any reason to any partner or director of the entity. If they are debarred to not to be a director, if I am director of the company, but SEBI has debarred me, then I cannot be a social auditor. See, very clearly mentioned that SEBI has debarred them because of any reason, then they cannot be a social auditor. Please note that the initial implement of the social audit carried out by the Institute of Social Auditors. Regular implement will be as per the Gazette notification SEBI dated 25th July 22, and the norms for the same will be notified separately. Initial implement of the social audit carried out by the Institute of the Social Auditors. Regular implement will be as per the Gazette notification by 25th July, which very clearly mentioned that it should be registered with SRO. You have to pass the certificate and register with SRO. Requirement of the
certification of social auditor.
Certificate of this social auditor. A financial auditor can qualify to be social auditor after they have successfully completed a course of a National Institute of. See, auditors and a financial auditor. Who can be financial auditor? A chartered accountant is a financial auditor. But if he is only a chartered accountant and financial auditor, he cannot be a social auditor unless and until he gets the certificate from NISM. He has to obtain the certificate from NISM, and once he obtains the certificate, so then he can go for an audit or qualified as a social auditor. So number one is a chartered accountant, and number two, he must obtain the certificate from NISM. NISM will take the exam conducted by them, and they are issuing the certificate. If these both are with them, then they can be qualified as a social auditor. It's a requirement. Other individuals desires of being a social auditor need to have at least following: postgraduate from university is recognized by the University Grants Commission with a minimum of 3 years of experience in the development sector. Plus, they must have an NISM certificate. That is must. So they can also go for a social auditor after obtaining this certificate. Next, graduate from university is recognized by UGC, University Government Commission, with a minimum of experience of 6 years of experience and minimum of 6 years of experience in the development sector. So any individual or a graduate university, he can also go for this, but provided he must have a certificate of NISM. That is must. For all these people, the certificate of NISM is must. Cost and management accountant or any other persons with a suitable accreditation with a minimum of 6 years of experience in the development sector. Okay? So cost and management accountants are also covered. They can also go be a social auditor, but they must have a certificate. And the word and. This qualification and what additional you should have, a complete the NISM certificate course mentioned above. All social auditors will have to be employed under the SRO, that is the Institute of Social Auditors of India, formed as a separate sustainability directorate under the aegis of ICAI. Institute of Social Auditor is covered under SRO, and all these qualifications, an individual having 3 years experience, 6 years experience, cost accountant, chartered accountant, that is must. And in addition to that, they must have a certificate required by the NISM. They have to pass the competent exam of NISM, and after passing the competent exam, they will issue the certificate, and having the certificate plus above qualification, then you apply to the SRO and they will be employed as an auditor. Social audit standards and framework at global level. South Africa. In South Africa, social audit standards are set by the Department of DSD, and DSD has developed, Department of Social Development, the DSD has developed and social audit framework provide guidance to the organization on how to conduct the audits. Mexico has not established specific social audit standards at the national level. However, the National Audit Office ASF is responsible for conducting audit of a public expenditure, which includes evaluating the results and implementing the government policies. Indonesia, social audit standards have been established through the Ministry of National Development Planning Regulation on guidance and the social audit implementation. Philippines, the Commission of Audit of the Philippines have developed social audit guidance to promote accountability, transparency, and citizenship participation in the audit process. The guidelines ensure the government program and projects are responsive to the needs of the people participating in the poor and marginalized. In Nepal, the social audit guidelines were formulated by the Ministry of Federal Affairs and Local Development in 2009. The guidelines outline the objective, scope, methodology, and reporting format of social audits at the local level. Now look at, see global level where it is. Indonesia, Philippines, Nepal, South Africa, and Mexico. At global level, there are social audit standards. Somewhere there are standards are there, somewhere there are no standards. But government has come out with a different policy and they have to follow those audit framework, whatever prescribed by them. Now, when you come to the India, social audit standards in India, under the Social Stock Exchange Audit Framework, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, ICAI, has been reconstructed with the responsibility of being self-regulatory organization. SRO, the organization is professionally the social auditors. So ICAI has issued the standards for the social audit standards. Now, what they cover in that social audit standard that we will take one by one. SAS 100. What it covers? Erecting hunger, poverty, manipulation, and inequality. See, if you look at all these standards, the standards covers all sustainable development goals which are at the global level, 17 goals. See, that is the main intention. That all 70 sustainable development goals are to be covered by all the countries. And whatever the standards which are formed by the countries which are in the line with sustainable development goals. So what is the coverage given in SDG 17? What are the scope? What are the indicators? What are the details requires? Given in SDG, the same should be covered in a different format by each country. So all we have covered under the different standard. SAS 100 is saying for erecting hunger, poverty, and manipulation and inequality. There is a SDG goal for this also. Then SAS 200, promoting healthcare, including mental health care, sanitation, and making available safe drinking water. See, this is also covered in SDG. Healthcare, how the care is taken for the public, what government is doing, what are the organizations are doing, including even private sector also. This is also covered in BRSR reporting also. Then SAS 300, promoting education, then employability and livelihood. That is covered under this also. That is under SAS 300. Then SAS 400, promoting gender equality. That is male and female gender equality, that everybody should be taken equal into the considering the employment opportunity. Equal chances should be given to the male and female by the organization, by the government also. Empowerment of women and LGBTI communities, that is also taken into the SAS 400. Then SAS 500, Social Audit Standard 500, ensuring social, environmental and sustainability, addressing the climate changes, including mitigation and adoption, then forest and wildlife conservation. So you have to consider all environmental, because of the climate change, what will be the impact on the life. See, at present you can see in Mumbai or all over India, there is a total climate change. Look at the heat wave which are going on. For controlling all this, what we have to do, what the organization has to do, what the government has to do, that is to be covered in SAS 500. Then SAS 600, protection of national heritage, art and culture, old buildings which are since last many years. Our culture should be also protected. Then how the auditor should take of care, what should be checked and what should not be checked, what parameters are to be taken, that is given in SAS 600. SAS 700, training to the promote rural sports, nationality recognized sports, Paralympic sports and Olympic sports. That is covered in 700, whether it is properly done by the government, what are the parameters given into the standard, all parameters are observed by them, that is will be taken care into the training and sports activity also. 800, supporting incubators of social enterprises, that is in 800. Next, SAS 900, supporting other platforms for strengthening the non-profit organization in fundraising and capacity building. Then SA 1000, promoting livelihood for a rural and urban sector, including enhancing income of a small and marginal farmers and workers in the non-farm sectors. See, 1000, promoting livelihood of a rural. See, just now we are a very big agitation of the farmers in this country. Right? Now the agitation which has gone, what are the benefits that will be given by the government to the farmers, whether they are provided or not? What are the benefits they are demanding, whether care is taken or not? So all this is to be taken into the consideration in social audit standard also. Then 1100, slums areas, development, affordable housing, and other intervention could be sustainable. To build sustainable and resilient cities. See, now government in particularly, I talk of Mumbai. In Mumbai, there are so many redevelopment projects are going on. There is a big, all Jhopalpattis in slum area in Dharavi. Just I give you one example of Mumbai. In Dharavi, it is a slum area. Now that slum area will be developed by the different developer. By the developer, government will call for a quotation, whatever, all the procedure will be followed. And then it will be totally developed. So affordable housing will be there, everything will be there, sustainable, and what they construct, it should be with sustainable. So that is to be taken care by SAS 1100. What parameters, how it is to be checked, what is to be taken care, what things are there, what documents are required, everything covered. Then SAS 1200, disaster management, including relief rehabilitation, and reconstruction. See, disaster management, earthquake has taken place, fire has taken the place. Then how it is managed, what they have done, what is the relief they have given to those people. See, just now we had an earthquake in India into the Uttarakhand and other. Now, because of that earthquake, the people have suffered a lot. What benefits are given, what government has done, how it is to be taken care. So that is covered in SAS, how it is to be checked, social audit. Then promotion of financial inclusion, 1400, facilitating access to the land and property access to the disadvantaged communities. 1500, bridging the digital divide in internet and mobile phone access, addressing the issue of misinformation and data protection, that is very important in social audit. Data protection, cyber hijackation. Data are hijacked because of the cyber securities. That is to be taken care into the digital economy now, because everything is digital nowadays. So the cyber security has become the most important. That is also be taken care in social audit 1500, how it is to be taken care. Then 1600, promoting welfare of migrants and displaced persons. So these are all the standards which are there and taken into that. Next. Standard on Sustainability Annual Assurance Engagement, SSAE 3000, Assurance Engagement on Sustainability Information. How it is to be engaged, what is to be done, and what is to be considered, that is given a specific standard, 3000. Standard on Assurance Engagement, SAE 3410, that is Assurance Engagement on Greenhouse Gas Statement, that is GHG, greenhouse emissions. How it is to be audited, what standards to be observed, what requirement is and it is fulfilled or not. That is given in this 3410. And sustained reporting maturity model, that is version 1 SRNM, that is these are the standards which are issued by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India for the purpose of social audit. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Swachh Bharat. This is given by our Prime Minister. Now this slogan is in the line of SDG goals, and all SDG goals are in line with the social audit. What are the social activities are covered? That is covered into the social audit. Thank you very much. Because just listening in certain cases, I have given a little bit because of time constraint. I could not go into the detail in certain areas because of the time constraint, but that all the information and details are given into the PPT, so you can read and get the full information. And if you have any query, you can come back to and call me at any time. Thank you very much for the patience listening to everybody. Thank you.
Sir, are we done with the Q&A session?
Yeah, now the session is completed now. Now, any question or anything? Hello.
So you can see the question and answers in the Q&A session. Q&A option. Please check that. Sir, if you are saying something, you are on mute right now.
Now are you able to listen me?
Yes, sir.
Correct? So the first question was that, what is the difference between the financial audit and social audit? Correct? See, financial audit is knowing the financial position of an organization. Financial, it is showing the position of a financial position of an organization, profit, loss, and everything, assets and liabilities. Correct? But when you come to the social audit has nothing to do with the profitability. But what the facilities they are giving to the employee, what they are doing for the public. See, just I give you the simple example. I am having the industry, I am having my company, a manufacturing company, manufacturing a product of a chemical nature. Now, my company is at, let us say, Vapi. It is near in the Gujarat. Now, when I am doing a business, I am manufacturing everything in chemical. So it creates an emissions which harms to the health of the people who are residing by that, which harms to the employees who are in the company working for that. It harms to the environment which is nearby because of the pollution and emissions on account of my manufacture of a chemical product. I am not staying there. I am staying in Mumbai and my factory is at Vapi. So now this type of damages, what precautions we are taking to avoid this, that the people should not suffer nearby. The employee in the company, what facility you are giving to them that they should not be impacted because of these emissions and other things. See, in particular chemical industry, you can imagine it smells like anything. It stinks. What measures they have taken? Now, because of this, that gives a benefit and that is taken into the social audit. So financial audit has nothing to do with this. Another example I am giving, the product which you are manufacturing, whether it is harmful to the public or to the person who is consuming, what is covered into the, what is the element which are covered into the product, and those which is covered, whether it is covered is packaging, that packing is not harmful to the public. So that is taken care into the social audit. So it has nothing to do with the financial at all. Financial is something different. You show the assets, liability, and only in financial audit, the shareholders are interested, investors are interested, company director, promoters are interested. The persons who are dealing in the share and stock exchange, they are interested into that financial. But as far as the social audit is concerned, the public at large is interested. Public at large is impacted. All residing person, nearby employee, they are suffering. Then other people, environment, they are suffering. Animals which are staying nearby, they are also suffering. So that is taken care into the social audit. That is very important. The next is, I am newly qualified chartered accountant, about to start the working with Google in the global firm to work in his season Indian firm many times. So what is the question? In second, what is the question? In question box, there are no other questions now.